Hi there, this is Michelle Towers with Towers Leadership Consulting. I was in corporate America for over 20 years, and one thing that I noticed was that whenever a mistake was made, the first tendency was to try to locate whose fault it was. While it is important to find errors so that we can make sure that our processes and our systems work correctly, it is really important that we avoid the blame game. Because as a leader, this can really turn sour on you. It can hurt you in a couple of ways. The first thing that it can do is it can create an environment of mistrust and judgment within your team. Secondly, what it can do is it can actually hinder your team from being productive because they're afraid of making a mistake and being exposed in front of everyone. So as a leader, how do you effectively handle people making mistakes without getting caught up in this blame game? The first thing I want to point out to you is that when a person makes a mistake, we have to always remember that that person, more than likely, they feel pretty bad already as it is. They already know they made the mistake, and so heaping more judgment and criticism on top of them is not going to help the matter. So, and especially if we expose them in front of other people. So what you really want to do is to, whenever possible, point that mistake out in private. And what that does is it maintains that trust between you and the person, and it also just helps them to maintain their self-esteem by just having that addressed in private. Now, sometimes mistakes are made and it seems like everybody knows, right? So how do you handle that when the mistake is public? The first thing you can do is to turn it into a teaching experience for your team. And instead of focusing on that person who made the mistake, you can instead perhaps focus on the process and challenge your team to look at that and say, how can we improve the process so that mistakes are not made as often? And the second thing you can do with your team is to remind them that, you know, we're all human, we all make mistakes. Probably you're going to get your turn pretty soon to make a mistake as well. And it's so important that we have each other's back when something like this happens so that we can continue moving forward as a team. I want to ask you, have you ever been a victim of the blame game? How did that make you feel? How would you suggest that others handle it? What worked for you and what did not work for you? I would love to hear your input. And so until next time, I hope you have a great week and lead well. Bye-bye.